In this video, I'm going to show you how to write an introduction paragraph. An introduction paragraph is the first paragraph of an essay. And so it has a couple different things that you include in an introduction. An introduction paragraph can usually have just 3 sentences. And if you stay tuned to the end, I'll tell you which one you could even not include if you don't want to. But an introduction usually starts with a hook, has 1 sentence of background, and then it finishes with a thesis. And a thesis is just a fancy word for a main idea statement for a whole essay. So a hook. The hook is the first sentence of your introduction paragraph, and the purpose of the hook is to draw your reader in. You want to get their attention and make them interested in what they're about to read. So something to do in a hook is to start with a question, or maybe an interesting fact or a statistic. Something you don't want to do in a hook would be to say, this essay will be about ... So some examples of some hooks you could write, if we want to think about the writing that we already did in Unit 4, you could start your invention paragraph with a hook like, can you imagine life without the light bulb? Or your triangle fire paragraph could start with a hook like 146 lives were tragically ended by a fire at the Triangle Factory. The next sentence in an introduction paragraph is called the background. And the background is just to give a little information about your topic to the reader so they know what they're about to read. Something you can do with background is to give the main points of whatever topic you're about to discuss and maybe why it's important. Something you don't want to do is give tons of details, or you don't really want to say, I'm going to talk about ... So if we were going to continue with the examples I just had, we could say the late 1800s saw the creation of many life-changing inventions. Or during industrialization, almost no regulations protected workers. The final sentence of an introduction paragraph is called the thesis, or the main idea statement. And this is the most important thing to go in your introduction paragraph because it states your main idea for what the whole essay is going to be about. If you are writing about a particular position or cause or opinion, then you would state what your opinion would be. Something you want to do in your thesis is use clear language and be sure to write with your own words. Something you don't want to do is kind of challenging. You don't want to be too vague, but you also don't want to include any details. You need to kind of be in the middle. And you don't want to say the point of my essay is. So what would be a good example of a good thesis? Some main idea statements you guys have already written. So the light bulb was the invention that transformed America the most, or the government improved working conditions by creating laws. And that's the end. Your introduction paragraph can be as simple as a hook, background, and thesis. In fact, if you wanted for the Unit 4 writing assessment, you don't even have to include a hook, maybe just a sentence of background and your main idea statement or thesis for your paragraph.